On China's human rights record coming under scrutiny at a UN meeting in Geneva. An unusually high number of more than 160 countries taking part in discussions, with each country given just 45 seconds in which to speak. The review is the first since a UN report in 2022, which gave the assessment that China's detention of Uyghurs and other Muslims in the Xinjiang region may have constituted crimes against humanity. For more, Trent Murray joins us live from Berlin. Trent, of course, this review goes on until the 2nd of February. But today, what are some of the criticisms we have heard leveled against China?
Yeah, that's right. This is the Universal Periodic Review. It comes up every 5 years or so for each member of the United Nations. And today it was China's turn to sit and front some of those questions and statements by more than 160 countries, each given 45 seconds. As you said, it very much felt like a speed reading exercise at times. But there were really a couple of core areas that particularly countries from the West singled China out, including on issues like freedom of expression, the protection of ethnic minorities, and also the repeal or calling for the repeal of the so-called national security law in Hong Kong. What we saw was effectively a long list of concerns by some of those countries. Now, this process, it should be stressed, is very much designed to try and provide constructive feedback, constructive recommendations, rather than sharp criticism. But despite that, we did see, particularly from several European and also countries from North America, some quite sharp criticism. I'll just read some of it to you. Canada, for example, decried what it said were forms of enforced disappearances which targeted human rights defenders, including ones abroad, and also called for the protection of ethnic minorities and Falun Gong practitioners. Japan also singling out Beijing, calling for better protections of the rights of minorities in the Tibet and Xinjiang regions. And the United States also condemned what it called the ongoing genocide and crimes against humanity in Xinjiang. So look, a big event today at the United Nations headquarters in Geneva. We saw many different groups assembling outside of the main hall as those discussions took place, including rights activists that were living abroad, Chinese diaspora and the like here in Europe, trying to pile on pressure onto Beijing to do more to protect human rights there.
Trent, of course, ahead of these discussions, we had the foreign ministry in Beijing already preempting possible criticism. But how did the delegation in Geneva defend itself?
Yeah, that's right. China's ambassador to Geneva mounted, I guess, what the Chinese would say was quite a rigorous defence to some of those accusations, leading a delegation of more than 20 ministries, representatives who had travelled from across China to answer some of these accusations. They said that China upholds respect for and the protection of human rights as a task of importance in state governance. They went on to say that China has embarked on a path of human rights development that is keeping with the trend of the times and is appropriate to China's national conditions and so-called historic achievements in this process. They finished by saying that we uphold a people-centred philosophy and strive to deliver a better life for all people. Now, it's worth mentioning that amongst those 160 countries were a number of allies that spoke in favour of what China has achieved in recent years. Bolivia, for example, spoke about China's efforts around reducing poverty and also deforestation, and Iran also signalled that China is making strides when it comes to protecting ethnic minorities.
Thanks, Trent Murray in Berlin for us.